Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Pancho and Lefty by Willie and Merle Haggard. And it starts out with a really cool little intro actually around the piano. If you wanted to kind of double some of these notes, you can start out on the 3rd fret on the B string, and then go to 2nd fret on the B string, and then open B, and then 2nd fret on the B, open B, and then 2nd fret on the G string, and we kind of play that again. And then we start on 2nd fret on the G, and then open G, and then 4th fret on the D, open G, 4th fret on the D, 2nd on the D, and then back to the 4 on the D. So the notes you're actually playing is you're going B, C sharp, B, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. And that whole little intro actually is around a D major chord. When you play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret. Second finger is going to go to the high E on the 2nd fret, and the 3rd finger is going to go to the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, and then that sounds a D major chord. That sounds really happy. And that whole intro actually can kind of get backed up with a D major. Actually, there's a couple really cool hits actually where you may want to play around with D sus. And then when you play D sus is where you've got D major down, and you take the pinky and kind of go to the high E on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the top 4 strings with that, the D, G, B, and E, that sounds a D sus or D suspended. And then and there's this really cool hit at the end where you kind of hear the D major kind of go to a D sus and then kind of come back to the D major. And a lot of times when I've got a D major too, I'll also play around with another suspended chord called D sus 2. So if you took the D major and then kind of lifted off the 2nd finger, it's kind of a dangerous finger to lift. That's called a D sus 2 if you strum the top 4 strings. So while you're on that D chord, and what it really sounds like Will is kind of doing is kind of a lot of downs actually. So if you want to play around with a lot of downs and then kind of playing around with those D chords actually through your intro. So that might be kind of a cool way to kind of back it up. Now also on a D chord, actually the D note or the D string is kind of your bass note to kind of support that. And what might be kind of cool too is kind of doing a bass, down kind of idea. And you'll kind of hear that through the tune actually. So I'm kind of doing the D string twice and then kind of doing 2 downs on the chord. Bass, down, bass, down, bass, down, bass, down. So you know how to kind of play around with those ideas. And then from the intro, we'll be going into our verse part. And our verse starts on D major. And then we do another D major. And then from the D, we go to an A major chord. And when we play A major, first finger is going to go to the D on the 2nd fret. 2nd finger on the G on the 2nd fret. And the 3rd finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like A major, and it sounds really happy. And then from the A major in the verses, we're going to go to a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and the 3rd finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. And then from the G, we're going to be going back to D major, and then going to an A major, and then we go to a G major, another G major, and then a D major, and then a G major. Then we go to a B minor chord, and normally you do this as a 2nd fret bar. First finger goes over the top, or the 2nd fret. 2nd finger goes to the B string on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D on the 4th fret, and the pinky on the G string on the 4th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord. It sounds really sad. But if you don't want to play bar chords, you can kind of avoid that by playing something called B minor 7. And when you play B minor 7, first finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and the 3rd finger on the high E string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a B minor 7 in root position, so you could kind of use that for your B minors. Or a lot of times with a bar chord too, you can make smaller shapes out of those by putting first finger on the high E 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string 3rd, 3rd finger on the G string 4th, and kind of strum the top 3 or the top 4 strings for your B minor. Or if you're a little bit more adventurous, you could take the 3rd finger and go to the D string on the 4th fret, pinky on the G string on the 4th fret. And if you strum the top 4 strings with that, that's another way you can play the B minor. And then from the B minor chord in a verse, there's this really cool little quick hit where we go to G major and then B minor, and then we go back to A major and another A major, and then we do a G major and then a B minor, and then there's this really cool hit at the very end of that where we kind of do a B minor and then kind of a quick A major to lead into our our next verse. So a lot of times we could kind of work that 8 down idea actually on the chords, and this is kind of a cool thing to kind of try. This kind of sounds a lot like the recording actually. It's just kind of thinking D with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A. Quick hit the G, B minor, or you can kind of get 2 downs in on those 4 to kind of make it a little bit more powerful. G, B minor, A, G, B minor, B minor. And kind of doing a big hit on the A. So in that last B minor, it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then hit on the A on that last one. Now a lot of times with a song like this too, to kind of support my voice, I like a really consistent strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the D and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So sometimes it could be easier to kind of work a pattern like that. And so just to try the verse that way, you'd have D, D, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D minor, down, down, up, down, big G, big B minor, A, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, G, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 and then that last B minor, you can kind of make kind of that down, down, up, and then kind of hit your A at the very end and kind of punctuate that. And then from there, then we'd be going into our chorus part. And our chorus starts on G major, and then we do another G major, and then we do a D major, and then we go back to G major, and then we do a B minor, and then we kind of have a hit on just a G and then a B minor, and then we go to A major, and then another A major, and then we go to G major, and then a B minor, and then we kind of do that B minor hit to the A, just like our verses to kind of lead back to the verse. So we tried that with kind of our 8 downs. We'd have G, if we did that with our down, down, up, down, up, we'd have G with the down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, B minor, down, 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 up, G, B minor, A, G, B minor, and then we have the B minor, A hit, down, up, A major. Now something else you may want to think about is more of those bass notes, kind of like we were talking about in the intro. So for instance, on the D chord, you could throw in a bass, and you could kind of keep that down, up, kind of digging on that. You got bass, down, up, down. So your bass note for the D is on the D string. For the G chord, it'd be on the low E string. So you have low E bass, down, down, up. On the B minor, you'd have the A string for your bass, bass, down, down. And on the A, you'd have the A string for your bass, A bass, down, kind of fill in basses on that too. And if we tried that through our next verse, we'd have D with the D bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, down, up, A with an A bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, bass, down, up, down, G, B minor, A with an A bass, down, up, down, A with an A bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, up, down, B minor with an A bass, down, up, down. We had a B minor push, kind of go bass, down, up, and then hit A, so bass, down, up, A. And then if we tried that through our next chorus, we have G with the bass, down, down, G with the bass, down, down, do the D bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, G, B minor, A with an A bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, A. And then from there, then we'd be going into a solo polo part. And if we kind of try those bass ideas through that, we'd have G with the low E bass, down, down, do the D bass, down, down, do the D bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, do the D bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, G, B minor, A with an A bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, A. And then from there, then we'd be going back into our verse part. Now, you could kind of take your basses too, and this sounds a lot like the recording is to kind of go bass, bass, down, down, and kind of work that as kind of your 8 push, just kind of alternating basses. So bass, bass, down, down. So if we kind of tried that through our last verse, we'd have D, A with an A bass, G with low E bass, tried that idea through our last chorus, then we have G, there, and then we go into our outro, and our outro is kind of like we got the G major, G, A, and then kind of a D. So I'm going G with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A with 2, D with down. Or if you're working the down, down, up, you'd have G with a bass, down, up, and then an A with a down, and then D with a down at the very end. Or if you're throwing in the bass, down, up, you'd have G with the bass, down, up, A on the down, up, D with the down, if you're kind of digging on that. But that's the basics of how you get strummed through Pancho and Lefty, so good luck!